What is up, everybody? Welcome back to GT Sport. After last episode, we're gonna take a sort of step back and we're gonna move back into sort of some easier production car racing in the midship challenge. So it's the mid-engine car. So you've got a few options to choose from. Rather go for something overpowered, we're gonna go for the Alfa Romeo 4C. So we're gonna jump in now onto our first race around Willow Springs. We're starting from the back of the field in this race, so it's So maybe a slightly easier race than these Group 1 cars we were doing in the last couple of episodes, since it's more like low power, but we are starting from further back than we normally do. Coming into the first corner now though, you see we've got another 4C in front of us. This is sort of one of my favourite little sports cars. Alphas do make some excellent cars. Their range is obviously a lot smaller than it used to be. But it's a really nice little car, this one. I think this one's got a few sort of additions to the normal production car to make it a bit racier, but it's a nice little car. We're just making our way through the field now. We're already up into P18 after a few corners, climbing to the sort of top of the circuit now at Willow Springs here. Sort of just closing up to these cars in front of us. It's this car has got a lot less power than some of the other cars in the field. You sort of see we had the option to go in a LaFerrari, but what we're going to sort of lose in speed, we make up in sort of lightness and nimbleness with the car, so we carry a lot more speed through the corners than we would if we were in the obviously much more powerful LaFerrari. So you'll see at the end of the race we actually get a sort of handicap bonus because our car is so much less powerful, but it sort of balanced out the challenge being further in the back and being in a less powerful car. But you can see we're just cutting through the field right now. We're up to P15, so that's 5 positions in the first lap. We get another guy on the last corner, just going up his inside as we're on the start-finish straight now, heading up towards the guy in P14. So these are all sort of similarly spec'd cars at the moment at the back of the field, but as you'll see as we make our way through, you see a bit more exotic cars. We've got another 4C in front of us now. Just get him on under brakes going into this sweeping right-hand corner here. And you see we're coming up to this little battle going on in front of us here between what looks like a LaFerrari and a Peugeot, I think it is. And you see we just thread the needle there. Like, what a great overtake. We get 2 of them. We're actually just going to look at a replay here of this one as we're you can see how little room we had as we like cut in front of that LaFerrari there and the Peugeot. Here's just a view from above. You can see we just threading the needle there. Going back to the race, that was just a great overtake. We're going back to the action here. You see we're trying to make our way up the inside of this Ferrari F40 even. On the brakes, we accidentally rear-end the 458 there as he was just going a lot slower than I was expecting considering the speed we were doing there. So yeah, it just caught us a little bit unawares there, but we're now just trying to find a way past him. Got a bit of a tank slapper as I sort of carrying a bit too much speed as they're moving the wheel, just trying to find a way around them here. Going to look to go up his inside here, heading in on this curve towards the final corner. We just get him there, nice and easy. Now hard on the brakes, we close up to the next group of cars here. We've got a McLaren and another Ferrari F40. See, I took the curve, you see they both go off track, and again, just sliding our way through that gap there. And yeah, we're up to P8 now, so it's been a good couple of opening laps here, and some great overtakes so far. But we're just going to jump ahead to a little bit later in this lap at the top of the hill. Took us a little bit of time to close up the car in front of us. It's got this Lamborghini now on the brakes. We just go up the inside here, little nudge there, but we're through, and now we're just trying to get up this McLaren F1 here. And you see he's a bit twitchy as well coming through that corner. Just saw the camera of that corner bounces the car if you're heavy on the power at that point. You see we're just going to slide up his inside through this corner. This is what I meant where we're just flat on the power here when we're just trying to get past the Ferrari Enzo here and then get him into the last corner, whereas these guys have to like sort of modulate their throttle where we can stick flat pretty much as long as we get the line right. Big compromise with those cars in front of us. But you see, so we're up to P5 after just 3 laps. Just got a bit of a gap to P4 here, but shouldn't take us too long to close up to him. We're doing pretty well here, and yeah, it's a great little car, this Alpha. Really enjoying driving this one after those LMP1 cars, because there's a big power difference, and it's just more nimble though, this car, and it's just more exciting to drive. So it sounds weird to say, but power isn't everything here. As see, we close up with these cars because we can just carry much more speed because we're so light. It's great. Great little car. We're coming up to the Lamborghini Aventador in P4. We carried a bit too much speed there, admittedly, but you see, we let him get back through as we go off the circuit there, and now we're just trying to find a way past him. Tried to go up the inside there, hit the cone. He would have been a bit shocked on the driver's side to see this cone hit him, but we get through. Again, it wasn't a clean overtake, we'll be fair there, but we did let him through, and we got through. It's easy as that. We're just got 3 cars in front of us now. You can see the P3 and P2 are just in front of us, and P1's a little ways up the road. But we've got a Lamborghini Vino here. We're just going to slide up his inside. That was a great overtake there, nice and clean. And now we're coming up to the back of a Pagani Huayra. We're just getting the slipstream, trying to close up into the first corner now, setting the fastest lap of the race. On the brakes, just closing up here, but you see he's a little bit further ahead, but he drifts out wide, so we tuck at the inside here. He's got a bit more horsepower, but you see we're late on the brakes, and he is still there on our inside though. We're just hanging it around the outside, and we're through on him now, so we're up into P2. Just got to chase the leader down now. He's not that far up the road, so we should be able to close up nicely in this little section here. This is where we seem to gain most of our time on the other cars. It's a Veyron in front of us, so massively faster than we are, but a lot heavier than we are. On the brakes, we're closing right up to him now as we're coming up his back straight. But you see, he pulls right across the circuit. I just wasn't expecting that at all. Totally threw me for a bit there, but Karma comes around. He goes totally off the track, off to Narnia, and we get him as he rejoins the circuit. Obviously, seriously hampered by that, and that's it. We're through on him in the lead. Just a few more laps to go. It's been a great race that. We're nice and far ahead. We're going to come on the final corner now. You see, we do go off circuit, but far enough ahead. We're going to jump now onto this final lap of the race, and out of nowhere, the Huayra comes back at us. So somehow he got past the Zonda, got past the Veyron as well, and he just came back at us, and I was just out of nowhere. Didn't see it coming. You see, he set the fastest lap on the previous lap. But so now it's all about trying to get back in front of him. We are seriously hampered on time here. So we close right up to him through this long corner. We're going to try and go around up the inside here. We're past him, but we're going to make sure he doesn't come back to us and doesn't get us on the line either. On the brakes, climbing up to the top of the circuit now. You can see we've managed to pull a 1 second lead over him. So hopefully we should be safe at this point. Now coming back down the hill, it's into third gear, on the brakes through this little left-hander. Let the car roll out wide there, running over the cone. A little bit unfortunate, but you can see where he goes off the circuit there, and I think that should be us safe though. His little mistake there, just like the Veyron did earlier in the race, should be enough to give us the win though. So I mean, that's great. So that'll be the first race down. We're coming up to the final corner now. You can see he is starting to close up to us though. We've got a 1.5 second lead, but you can see we've just drifted out wide here. We carried a little bit too much speed. We've got to get back on the circuit, power down. We keep it straight. You can see he's coming behind us. We're going to make one little move to the left, our one move we're allowed to do, and that just holds him off. So, whew. I mean, this was the circuit where we lost out in the Tesla way back in, I think it was episode 6 or 7, and you can see 4 thousandths of a second. That was bloody close, but we did it. One win down. We're going to jump now into race 2 in the Alsace circuit. Again, starting from the back of the grid. I mean, that was a great race there, threading the needle through some of those overtakes. It was after the disaster we had in that last race. You might want to go back and check that one out. This is some good, clean racing we're having here. Already up into P19 on this next race. We're climbing towards the top of the circuit. This isn't my favourite circuit, the Alsace one. It's very difficult to, when you hook it up, it's great, but if you just get a couple of corners wrong, it really sort of feels very stop-starty, if that sort of makes sense. It's not one of my favourite ones, whereas Willow Springs, that was a good one. I think those real circuits are much better in GT Sport than their sort of fantasy circuits. Some of the fancy ones on the older GT Sport games are great, but some of these new ones just aren't quite as good. But hopefully we're going to see sort of more focus on the real circuits, as we've got recently had Laguna Seca added back into the game, one of the best circuits of all time. So hopefully we'll get to do some racing on that in the near future in the not so brand new anymore, but new for the game at least, brand new Ford GT. Stunning looking car, and hopefully we'll get some variants of that added in the future as well. Great to see a Group 3 version of that. Carrying too much speed into that corner totally and just goes sliding off the circuit, allowing the guy in P16 or was P17 to get back through. So we're just going to close back up to him now. We're just going to stick it up the inside into this corner, a little dab of brake there, and we're nicely through, got the position back. And yeah, we're just going to now close up to these couple of cars in front of us here. And I've got to say, I did try this race before in a slightly more powerful car, but because we weighed a lot more, it was really difficult to hook it up, whereas sticking in the 4C, it was just much easier to just like get the car to just turn through some of these tight corners, because it's just so much lighter. As we finished off, coming up towards our end of our first lap now, as we come through the final corner, and yeah, we're up to P14. It's a great start to the race here, setting the fastest lap with a 2:17. Hard on the brakes here, we've got two cars in front of us here, so we are going to be looking to get them into the next couple of corners. And yeah, we're just going to try and stick in the slipstream of one of them, and then you see we got another 4C in front of us as we just going to go up around the outside, and yeah, that's the overtake done. So you see I've just discovered I can flash the lights on this. It's great. So we're going to jump ahead in the lap a little bit, so we're closed up to the back of a Peugeot RCZ. You can see I'm just flashing the lights all the time now. I discovered that I didn't even realise if you click the left stick in a night race, it flashes the headlights. So that's one for you if you didn't know that was a thing in this game either. So really excited to get that overtake done, especially as he came back at us. So yeah, up to P11, going purple still. We've got about 3 cars in front of us here, so we should be able to get a few more overtakes done shortly. You see they're all sort of battling and holding each other up, so it's making them easy pickings for us. We're swooped to go up the inside of this Citroen here. It's just alongside us, but the circuit's sort of turning us around the outside, but we're just carrying a little bit more speed. Coming up the back of the Ferrari F40 here. We're just going to stick it up his inside, going into the final corner here, and we also get the Honda NSX. So yeah, that was a few more, and there's a bit of a gap, so we're going to jump ahead now onto a bit further in lap 3, about the halfway point in the lap, going up the inside of the Lamborghini Diablo. And then you see we've got another group of cars. They're all battling with each other on this one because it's quite a short lap or short circuit. They're all battling with each other. You see the Ferrari being forced off, and we just thread the needle once again in this one. It's going to be the theme of this episode. And yeah, we're slid our way up into P5 now, closing up to the guy in P4. There's a bit of a gap to our leaders, but you see he took a slightly better line than we did there, but you see we just carried a bit more speed on the corner exit, and you see he moves across and gives us a little tap. Didn't affect us too much, but it was one of those moments where the AI is not totally aware of where you are. It's a little bit disappointing to see in this day when you got some of the games like Forza where the AI reacts so much more realistically, but it's still pretty good compared to older games. Getting up onto the podium now as we just slide up the inside into this corner of the Ferrari. Now we're just chasing down the guy in P2. It's not that much further up the road from us, as we're still going purple, so we're still the fastest guy on circuit by far. A little bit of brake there in the mid corner, but we're going to look to go around the outside, but you see he just closed the door. We look to go at the inside, just tight line there, and quit early on the power, and that was it. We got past him. We're going to jump further ahead because again, leader was a bit further on, so we're on lap 5 now. Coming up to the back of this Lamborghini Vino or Veno or something like that. A little bit of brake in that corner where he is carrying much more, so we're going to power down, coming up the hill. We're going to look to try and get him into the right-hander at the bottom of this section here, but you see he's got much better acceleration than we do, so it's going to be in the corners where we get him. and you see this is where I wanted to get him, and up the inside, and there we go. And that was it on this race, to be honest. He didn't really come back at us that much, so there wasn't really anything else that happened. So we're actually going to jump into the final race of today's episode in Interlagos. Change things up a little bit. We're driving the Audi R8, one of sort of like my favourite affordable air quotes sports car. This is the V8 version. It's a great car, this one, and a great circuit at Interlagos. So we're coming through the center S's for the first time here. You see we get through on the first car, and now we're just about chasing these people up as the footage goes a little bit funky there. You see he's miles behind us already. It's a great looking car, this original R8. They seem to sort of ruin the look recently, where it's gone a bit more angular, which is what Audi seem to be doing with their range. I think this was where it looked its best. Definitely the V10 version, which isn't in GT Sport, sadly. But yeah, this is one of the best looking Audis for sure. Climbing up to the midpoint of the circuit now, where let's go up the inside of one car here. And just to carry a little bit too much speed, the car sort of rolls. It's quite heavy compared to that 4C. On the brakes, you can see everybody sort of drifting wide on this corner here. We give the Ford a little bit of a bash by accident, and now we're just going to thread through a bit here, just slot in behind the Countach in front of us. And now we're just going to try and close up to me. You see he totally gets that corner wrong. He goes off. I get distracted by him going off and go off. But we recover pretty well, and we're up to P16. We're now coming up towards the sort of final corner here, close right up to the back of another R8 here, so we're going to try and out-drag him to the ice. He totally cocks the corner up and has to brake mid-corner, which throws us off, and we accidentally rear-end him. He sort of brake checks us there. You really shouldn't need to brake once he's sort of broke for the first bit of the corner, but it doesn't matter. We're up to P15. Coming along the back straight here at Interlagos for the first time. Great little section here, and you see we sort of have to brake around the 150 meter board, little ease off, and then we're coming through the S's, closing up to this I think it's a Maserati, I'm not too sure what it is, but we're just trying to get past him. We're going to go up the inside here using the ripple strips, and we're through, and there we go. So we're going to skip ahead now onto later in the lap as we're coming through the sort of twisty turny section. We get up the inside of the 4C there. We're now going to try and close it to the back of this RCZ, turning up towards the final corner at this point. So it looks like we're going to try and out-drag him on up to the line. You see, just let the car roll through the corner, go up the inside here, nice clean overtake there, pretty easy. Coming towards along the straight now. You see we get a little bit on the ripple, not the cleanest line through there, but he's sort of, the Peugeot's falling behind, so we're not nice and in the clear at this point as we come to lap 3. See again, setting purple lap time. So we're going to sort of close up now to the Ferrari as we head in through the center S's again. Going through the first section and the second section. See little bit of a corner cut there. You just sort of have to pretend you didn't see that bit. Now we're coming to the back of him, and we're just going to pull out of the slipstream, try and out-drag him on the straight. There we go. Past him there, nice and easy. Hard on the brakes after the second straight, and you see we've got another little group of cars all battling with each other. You can see I'm just trying to maximise the circuit here, carry as much speed as possible. We're now climbing up the circuit here. On the brakes, you can see we're just slide up the inside of 1, 2. We're going to go for 3 into the next corner here. On the brakes, see, he closes the door on us, so we aren't able to get through, but there we go. He drifts out wide, allowing us to just slide up the inside there, which was a good couple of overtakes there. So we're all the way up to P8 already on lap 3. Now on the brake into the next sort of final corner. This is where it's really hard, this corner, when you get the line wrong with these cars. I think it's the weight of them or something. It just sort of gives you serious understeer, and it just takes you straight off. It's a bit annoying as we go through the final corner again. We're going to close up to the back of the I think it's the Diablo here. just sort of go to try and out-drag him, and like, we've got to get in the slipstream and just allow us to close right up to the back of him. And so he's got a little bit more horsepower than us, but we're going to try and get him under brakes into the first corner here. There we go, straight up the inside. We're much later on the brakes than he is. Must be the difference. We've got our obviously slightly more modern brakes than he does. You can see there's a massive group of cars here. We've got sort of 4 other cars in front of us, and that'll get us all the way up to P2. So we just need to cut our way through the field here. We're going to try and get in the slipstream of the McLaren in front of us. Looks like we're not going to gain much ground into on the straight, but we get them in the brakes as we normally do. You can see we carry too much speed and go off, but you see so did the LaFerrari in front of us. So he has a compromised line. We do the little switchback, get past the McLaren and the Ferrari up into P5 as we now look to close into the 2 guys in front of us. We've got a Lamborghini Huracan, the fancy R8 really. Get sort of muscle our way past him. You can see we've got the Aventador there. He goes off the circuit. We give him the room as he comes back on a little bit dangerously, squeezing past him, but we're going to get better traction, get around his outside, and we're up to P3. So we're going to jump a little bit further ahead now as we've closed up to the McLaren F1, who is in P2. And again, it's going to be looking to try and find a way to make our overtake as we climb up to the top of the circuit here. With a little bit of brake, a little dab more, and you can see we're carrying a little bit too much speed, so we're drifting out wide. So we're going to try and hang around the outside of the McLaren here on the brakes, do the switchback, go up the inside, and see helped by him also going off like the Lambo did in the previous lap. And now we're chasing down the leader. He was miles ahead of us, so it's took a while to close up to him. We're on lap 7 here. You can see we're just right up. It's been a while just chasing him down. Now we're up to him when we're running out of time though to get the move done. We're coming into the next slow corner here. And
is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is, it's Glock! Oh my goodness me!
There we go, just like Glock did way back when for Hamilton's first F1 win. There we go, we get through to the lead as the Lambo, who if he just kept on track probably would have been able to keep us behind him on the straights here, but yeah, there we go, nice one really. We're through into the lead, and just because of one mistake sort of shows you how easily it can all go wrong. But you see he's right behind us though, we just got to make sure we keep him there. You see he's close right up, but you see he's gonna have to brake a lot earlier than we do because he's much faster, but we just got to keep him at arm's length for this final lap, because this is his final chance to get us. It's going to be on this back straight, but you can see the driver just cannot cope with the center S's. As you see, we've got a nice 1.5 second gap, and being a Brazilian driver, the home crowd's going to be really disappointed with that result. We're going to jump now to the end of this race. Really, we're through the final corner. We kept him behind us the whole time. He made another mistake, as you can see, because the gap jumps up to a 7.6 second gap. He must have gone off again, but it's been a great few races. It's nice and refreshing after the disappointments in the previous Group 1 races, which ended on a really sour note. But there we go. We've got three out of 3 wins to start the first episode of the Midship Challenge. Yeah, so that's going to be all for this episode of GT Sport. It's nice to get back to winning ways after the last time. In the next episode, we're going to finish this off and go to Kyoto and Suzuka. So we're probably going to change things up and try a different car, maybe the Tri-R SX. But that's it for this episode. Check out some of the previous ones, like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.